Righto. Let's get into it. Pistols, full house. Here we go.
Absolutely. Speaking of the house, in the house, you have the cup, the flag, and some successful Tigers after what was one of the great grand finals of all time, Goldie.
Yes. No, we're right. Don't mind me.
Just doing a bit of technical work here. So, Alex Giorgio,
Yes.
Riley Skinner, Mitch Jenkins, Cooper Skinner, welcome into the huddle, boys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. It's
good to be here.
Just come in a bit closer if you can so we can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, they're right. They're right.
All
I've
right.
got the volume up.
Volume's good.
Yep.
So, boys, just tell us, it's probably been a big 3 or 4 days. How did it go? We spoke to you, lucky enough to talk to you straight after the game. How did it all unfold for you?
Yeah, Sunday night was a great night at the club. There were hundreds and hundreds of people in town and in the club, so it was a great night that went late into the well into the early hours. And unfortunately, the weather on Sunday was a bit wet and cold, but there was some good vision to be watched. We watched the game back, and then we watched the leggies get it done, which was just as exciting.
I was going to say for you boys, eh?
Yeah, and then Monday was a ripping day at the Charleston Hotel as well. We finally got a bit of sunshine, which makes drinking beers a little bit easier.
Yeah. And as we spoke about on Saturday night, straight after the game, what a great thing it was for the entire Lobethal community. So I suppose the whole Valley of Praise would have been there on Saturday night, Sunday, etc. Just the people who, little community club just means so much for them to win a flag. 20 years as well.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden got us all up one by one, and to get up there in front of everyone, and I guess you've got a lot of the same people that every single kind of presentation night, but to have sponsors, families, not to say that they didn't support us at all, but to be able to kind of share the moment with all of them as well was pretty cool.
And we talk about sharing the moment because it was special because there's 2 of them here, but the sets of brothers, of course, you and Jimmy, just that would be fantastic when the final siren went, just I suppose to find your sibling out and just what you've achieved together.
I struggled to find him. He was running around pretty quick. So that was amazing to know how much that meant to him, I guess, being at Lobethal for so long and going through a lot of the hard times. And then also, as soon as I did get, we were in the swarm, I remembered Dad as well on the coach's bench.
That great photo on social media.
Ran back out and found him.
Yeah, the scoreboard in the back.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That was unreal. So to do it all together was really good.
I never thought I'd see Chopper cry more than what he did on his wedding day, but he did it Saturday.
I reckon Matt Jenkins almost cried just as much.
Matt was
in
the
the crowd.
He's the one that didn't play and he was crying.
He's an emotional man, the kittens told me that. Hey, once again, just take us through the conditions. I think you mentioned that those conditions are probably one of the most difficult. Forget the wet and the mud that you probably played in, just the wind factor would have been some of the most, you've played. Difficult.
By far, I almost think it would be almost the toughest conditions I've ever played in. Wind takes a lot of skill to be able to kick with that wind. So, I don't look at the stat sheet yet, but there would just been a lot of just kicking it to try and get as much distance as you can when you're kicking with it, and when you're kicking into it, you're almost better kicking it on the ground.
It's kind of reminded me of like half-court basketball. You go and then it comes back, and then it's like everyone's in one half of the ground. So, Riley, what were your thoughts on?
To be honest, I was watching it go out, and especially against the wind, it was coming straight back in, so I wasn't moving too far. Especially as Cooper Hoff was just running circles around us 50. So it was they're probably the hardest conditions I've played in personally as well. So but in a way, it makes it a little more special, memorable.
Yeah, for sure.
And for you, Coop, because you do a couple of chop out rucking duties, and we were saying on the call about the poor old Boundary Academy boy pitching the ball. How difficult was it to set yourself up as a ruckman because it was 10 metres away by the top?
Especially when you got Big Robbo on the other side of you as well. Definitely had to try and sit on the wind down the bottom end at Nan. Tell those Big Robbo just hold you out and smack it forward, which you don't want. So, it was very tricky, and trying to read, especially as a forward as well. When the ball was coming in up the top end, Robbo was sitting back, you got Pearls, you got Salty, who were great marks, just trying to read where the ball was going, bring it to ground. It was just absolute slog as a forward as well. So,
and being one of the great overhead defensive marks in the competition, Mitch, Yeah, the June fight. I know you did pluck one in particular. Was it very
Yeah,
special?
yeah. Other than that, I mean, even that one, I reckon, felt like you misjudge until it kind of hits you. But yeah, at one side, I think there was one that I set up, tried to mark, and it landed 10 metres in front of me, and I was the next kick on. It really kind of can't really set up for it. Depends how the ball comes off the boot, and yeah, it was different for sure.
Don't mind me, I'm just going to check everything.
Now, you mentioned on Saturday, because you were the man with the vital toss. Because don't go to the casino or play cricket with you ever again, because you're no good at it. Yeah, once you do straight, and there was no hesitation, you said, bang, we're going that way. Yeah, so you got the boys back into the group.
Do you want to tell me a bit more? So Alex, just
obviously Aiden, before you went out there, would have probably said what was going to happen, but then once the toss was taken, it was left to you for the last word. What would you say to them?
Oh, so after
you'd done the toss, you go back to the huddle,
I actually had a couple
and they
of
were
guys,
just giving you shit because you lost again.
a couple of guys said we should kick into it. I was like, who would kick into it? If I won that toss and kicked into it, I think, and we lost, it would have been the reason we lost. No, I think the message has been pretty clear for the whole finals campaign. Discipline is so important in finals, and it was probably, we didn't quite nail it in the first quarter against Harndorf last time. We really made an emphasis to be first on the ball and make sure those free kicks were ours to get. So a lot of discipline, and I think our discipline was fantastic on the day. And then it's just about playing your role. So I know we do have some stars in our team, but they can only do so much. It's about the rest of us playing our roles, and probably the four of us in the room are about as good as it gets at role players for our side. So let Griggy be the star, let Aiden be the star. The rest of us play our role, we'll go pretty well. So.
This might be a silly question, because having played at the super high level, AFL, and then also career at SANFL, was last week one of the most physically taxing games you played, because the style of game was just a lockdown style of game with bodies and, what?
Yeah, for sure. I've probably been battling a little bit of injury as well, so I haven't been moving that well, but I don't think we need an extra 10 minutes of game at the end of that game. I was struggling to move, and there was no clear second. The second you had the ball, there was blokes into you, and everyone was smashing into each other, and I guess that's probably why Aiden got best on, because that's what he's built for.
Hey, we'll just go around the room from left to right, just in case people are just tuned in and got no idea of your background. So Alex, where'd you grow up and your journey back to Lobethal? Yeah.
Right. All right. So I grew up in Cuddly Creek.
Yep.
I'm a bit of a late comer to football. I started at an older age just because Tim Jenkin and Jack Banton and that were playing. I actually played cricket at Lobethal. So started playing footy when I was about 13. Went down the hill, played a couple of years at Norwood and 1 year at Melbourne, and then have come back up to Lobethal for the last 3 years. And,
won a couple of premierships as well down at Norwood.
Won a couple of premierships at Norwood, which was fantastic.
And the best and fairest.
Best and fairest, yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. No, that's all right. So Riley, Riley,
So
how old are you?
21.
21,
Yeah.
sensational.
So-
Tiger.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Woodside, obviously with Cooper.
Yep.
Started playing footy when I was probably about 5 or 6 at Lobethal,
Uh-huh.
all the way through. Played a bit of tennis at Lobethal as well.
Yep.
And then just made my way up through juniors, a couple of years in the B grade, and then I played half of this year in the B grade as well. I was fortunate enough to get a shot, and would never dreamed of being a premiership player at the end of it, to be honest.
Sensational.
It's really special, and to do it with my brother as well, it's just something else. So yeah.
Cool. Mitch?
I grew up in Nairn, so I played all my moddies at Nairn, so that was a nice episode we come back to.
Yeah.
And then hit under 13s, and I guess having the connection at Lobby with Tim and Matt there was kind of a no-brainer that was where it was going to be, and been there ever since, and worked through the juniors and been playing senior footy for 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
5 years. And
Bit of interleague.
which has been good. So it's been good.
Cooper?
Very similar to the Wiz. Grew up in Lobethal, so under 8s, and then sort of worked my way up a little bit here and there in town as a junior, and then as soon as I hit sort of seniors, I was back at Lobie with Jezerofty as coach, and just seeing how we started there, and where we got to now, it's pretty awesome.
pardon me, not only do we have 4 premiership players here, but we actually have 2 of the 4 people who this season didn't kick a goal for Lobethal. Myself and Riley.
Oh, nice.
And
He has kicked some of the best though. I've seen.
and we're lucky enough to have a man who kicked 1 goal, so he's just escaped being, it would have been 5 players, because Mitchy checked it. Just tell us about your goal of the year.
Yeah, it was actually in Tim's 200
Literally.
as well.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
so it took away a bit of the limelight.
You're kicking the goal,
Yeah.
because everyone was getting around you.
Yeah, that was it though. I reckon I ran past and tried to sneak into a pocket and demand the ball, and yeah, I don't get many shots as a backman, so
Goal of the year.
goal of the year.
Yeah, go
How many
on.
Cooper kicked?
Cooper had the stat, as we know, the JJ stat. For 8 consecutive games, he actually kicked a goal. Over a goal.
Average
A couple of
performance.
kicks
Yeah.
too.
I remember hearing that someone watched
Then
the
you
hard
wanna
golf
stand
game
for about
back,
24
had a
games.
shot at the top of the square and missed.
Yeah.
So commentator's curse, I blame you guys for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but that was quite effective there. 16 for the season. So, because the big fella, son of Rust, now I can actually call him Rusty. Mitchy premiership player. That must have been a great moment for him. 20 years ago, his dad was a premiership player, and now he is for the Tigers.
Yeah, Karts is he's an absolute ripper. So we were lucky enough to play with him down at Norwood, and God, he was talented, but maybe work rate not quite his thing. And yeah, like it was just very lucky that I think there was a bit of Lobethal influence down at Norwood at the time. And we're like, oh, your old man played there. Like you should sign up as a junior at Lobethal, and yeah, we're glad we did. So when he did decide to come back to playing footy, he was a 0-pointer and could come up and play a role with us straight away. And he's really bought into the club. Like he is genuinely one of the fellas of the side, a really good guy. And yeah, geez, he's been important for us, hasn't he?
Hey, what we might do, Ben,
Yeah.
we might get the boys seeing their teammates are there. We can actually put them under the
Griller.
light torch here. We'll just run through the side. Just give us a couple of thoughts on a particular guy. We'll get your teammates. How well do you know your teammate?
Oh, what, going through each? Well,
Going through the
yeah,
list, if
yeah,
that's all right. Yeah, so
one at a time.
one at a time. Okay, so well, everyone's favourite, James Elliott, the sheriff.
Oh, well, I got a text message from Alex regarding tonight, but if you want to...
Yeah, so when I spoke to you yesterday, Goldie, his special request was to get the sheriff on the radio.
Yes.
So I tried calling at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, no answer. Must have been asleep, I think. And then I said, oh, some people have requested your services, and he sent me another message, and I was a bit busy, I didn't write back, and he's like, I don't understand what your message meant. He was really keen. And I said, oh, can you come on the radio tomorrow? And he's like, oh, unfortunately, I've got to make up for all my behaviour over the last couple of days. I've been so good on footage. Oh, not footage. On the celebrations, I'm going to have to take the missus out for dinner tonight, so I'm unavailable. So
So the sheriff was very good post-match.
yeah, sheriff was excellent would be an understatement. Yeah, but
Just funny, Briggs, he seemed to have stepped up, and he's one of the premier defenders now alongside your good self.
yeah, he's been fantastic. He's almost taken the most important forward each week, which lets me, take someone else and maybe help him out a little bit as well in the air. So yeah, he's had a fantastic season, probably one of our most important players.
All right,
now.
Riley, this guy, whether you grew up playing footy together, same age as you, Jake Orick. Tell us a little bit about Jake.
Yeah, Jakey, yeah, he's a good bloke. He played a lot of juniors at Mount Barker, and then he was good mates with Lockie Ellsworthy and he's probably yourself, Mitchell. And yeah, he came across in under 18s, and yeah, he hasn't looked back since. Yeah, he's just a fantastic guy, fantastic player, and
It's
yeah.
a good story because he got dropped for our 2020 finals and was pretty stiff and
Yeah.
was shattered by it as well.
Yeah,
But
that's a
really
good
stuck
story,
out.
isn't it?
So yeah, it's
Going
great.
back and
He
the
was
ultimate. Now, guy we had on last week and kept a sensational goal. I think the first goal they kicked.
Jack Andrew.
Jack Andrew
yeah.
Bampton. Tell us a little bit about him, Mitchy.
Yeah, I guess being Tim's little brother, got to grow up a lot with him, and watched him, I guess, down in town, and then come back to. I think he probably, played my first A grade games with him, and then to be under him while he's been in the leadership group and captain, and I mean, pretty inspirational watching him in the middle. I don't know if he's got the ball and he's sitting down or standing up, but he moves so quick on the ground, and it's pretty good to watch.
Now, the next bloke, well, you'll love this because besides being useless and not kicking any goals, just tell us a bit, Riley Skinner. It's not set up, we're doing it in order.
He's very good when he's not injured. So Wiz has been the one in our family that's always hurt himself. So I think last year was a dislocated elbow, which put him out for the year. The year before that was a broken leg, put him out for the year. But growing up, the Wiz never really liked footy that much. It was quite. I'd want to get him out the backyard for a kick, and he'd just nah. I'm alright. I'm all good.
Yeah, younger brother, you're
competitive. I want to push him around and belt him, but had to take it out to my other younger brother instead. So, but I know as soon as he hit 18 and enjoyed beers, I think wanted to be around at the footy club and
fantastic. Must have been a very proud moment for you. Now back to you, Skip, and of course we touched on him a little bit on Saturday, but Joshua Sewer, of course we've named him Zip Zap after the great Ralphie Sewer. Just tell us a bit about him.
And Josh Sewer, so. Yeah, as I think I said on Saturday, he's a unique individual. Yeah, he's pretty much a success story. I think he only played 3 A-grade games this year, all in the finals, and his first 2 were very important games of footy for us. Was probably our best players, I'm not 100% sure, those 2 games. And then on the weekend, had his chance to kick a very important goal, and he put it through. Didn't spin, but it went through. And he's supremely talented, and I hope he really commits next year because he'll be very important for us.
Now you talked about him not being a keen footballer initially. He's come out and he's just won a premiership with a bloke who's probably got as many medals as the people marching in the Queen's Funeral. Talk about Mitchy Creek.
Mitchy Creek. Yeah, it's been pretty exciting having him at the club this year, and someone that's I can't really say I know heaps about Griggy. I've only really played half the season with him, but the bits I do know, I got along really well with him. We got along well with everyone at the club.
Well, probably putting you on the spot. So go to you, Alex, because obviously your background with Mitchy Creek. Just tell us how he fitted into the club and just obviously supporting the younger guys and everything.
Yeah, I messaged him yesterday just to see how he was and thanking him for helping us win a flag, and he just said he loved every second of it. And that's what it looked like when he was up at the club. He really enjoyed it. But I think the toll that SNFL takes only over a long period of time, and I think he was just really looking forward to enjoying his footy, and that's what he did this year. I did say pre-game if he could have 30 and kick 6 like he did in 2018, that'd be nice. So, unfortunately, he didn't quite do that, but he probably did enough, didn't he?
He did indeed. Mitch Carter.
Probably, the whole year, I guess, looks the most disinterested out of all of us.
There's a photo of him leaning on the door.
Yeah. We'll run out and he'll be the last one to run out. We're in a huddle and he'll be the one at the back, and you never question him. He performs on the field and everything, but then to see what it meant to him on the weekend and through, any of the results through the year, you know kind of what he's where his heart is, and that he is interested in and is bought in. But one of the funniest to kind of watch do his thing.
Now you don't have to worry because there's no selection tomorrow night. Season's done, so you can tell us all about Alex Giorgio.
I remember we played cricket about 8 years ago. When AJ was at his prime, and it was like meeting your heroes. Hey Alex, I'm Cooper. Nice to meet you. So I was pretty pumped when he came back to the footy club a couple of years ago, and I'm good mates with Jacob Collins, who was at Nord, and he said, work on AJ, he's so good, he's such a legend, legend at footy. And I reckon 2020 was a hard year to get to know people because of COVID, and we didn't have actually many beer sessions or anything.
Keep going.
But absolute legend. It's just you learn so much from him, and great family man as well.
Don't do too much yelling.
There's a book on all these sides throughout recent decades around the world who have had successful dynasties or whatever, like the All Blacks and whatever. And the common theme or the undercurrent of all of them was the captain was the key in the side. Didn't necessarily have to be the superstar or whatever, but it was they drove.
Good leader of men.
Obviously he's what.
I reckon it was a trial game in 2020, and I was in the back lines, and I reckon Alex was just all day, and I was probably a bit unfit because it was halfway through the year. He was holding me accountable, but after the game, he's like, you just got to do this, do this, do this, and Defensively, like in that back six, you get Mitch and Timmy Jenks, and that's where a lot of our game we get that run and carry from defence. So sets it up. He's done it for years, and you can just tell.
Good stuff. Premiership captain Jacob Collins.
Jacob Collins, so he just finished his apprenticeship last week with us actually, so he's no longer my apprentice, he's just a tradesman. Collo, he's a ripper, so he's from Ceduna Blues.
Really?
Yeah, that's where he grew up, over on the west coast, and he came over to Nord to play, because that was our zone at the time, and he, like when he came over, he was young, 16, I don't know, maybe younger superstar, like dominating the reserves, and like, oh, this guy can play. And it got to the end of the season, he didn't have much footy to play, and obviously being from Ceduna, we're like, oh, you should sign up at Lobethal, like, there's good blokes up there, and he's like, yeah, right, no worries. So that's how he's a 0 pointer for, which is good, because he was so young when he first signed up at Lobethal. And yeah, then I guess Nord, he played a lot of good footy down there, and I know he's a bit of footy's not his number one priority in life, that's for sure, and I think he more enjoys playing footy with his mates over the rigours of SANFL. So this year he's like, oh, I'm just not really enjoying it, so I'll do what you enjoy. And so he's like, oh, I'll come back and have a kick up in the hills, see if I enjoy that. And I think he has. Yeah.
Did you have to educate him about the rigours of playing in mud? Because they wouldn't have seen any rain in Ceduna back when he was
Yeah, that's what I say. In the middle of July when we were playing at Mount Lofty, I was like, geez, this reminds me of playing in Ceduna, Colo. And he's like, absolutely not. But the wind on the weekend maybe did, because I think it was pretty windy over there.
I'm just realising what's going to happen after this next one, but we'll allow it to flow through. Cooper Luke.
Yeah, another guy I grew up with. He was a Lantern Primary boy. And I played pretty much all my junior footy with Cooper. Always had a bit of X factor about him. Loved his cricket as well, so I wasn't sure if he was going to, at one point in life, thought he was going to go cricket or footy, and he ended up pretty much doing both. And then now he's back at the footy club, which is great. And he's an absolute star and a great guy. So yeah.
He's a menace. He's a menace, Coop.
I was going to say, Mitch Jenkins going to talk about himself here.
Very nice to see.
That's all right. He's just
come back.
He's coming back. Yep.
And to his brother as well.
He's right. Okay, that's a double.
Oh, and
then Cooper's going to talk about
I'm
himself.
not talking about.
All right, so we go around again. Alex, you want to talk about Cooper Skinner?
I'll talk about Cooper.
Well, that's fair because he talked about
Yeah. So
He
that's
did it
nice
back.
things.
Yeah, very nice things. Yeah, Coop's a ripper, so as I said at the start, like, role players, that's exactly what he does. So it's a bloody hard kick playing up in the forward line and just competing all day, and they usually have at least one spare, maybe two, and it's about making a contest. And I think, when I first came back to Lobethal, you were probably a bit between playing forward and defence, but I guess us having a few more defenders let him go play forward, and he has played a really important role there.
Sensational. All right. Riley, do you want to talk about Sean McWaters?
Sure. So Shawnee came over in 2020 when I believe the York Peninsula League, I'm not sure what it's called, but they decided not to go ahead. So he was working in Adelaide, so he's come up and we were lucky enough he came up and played footy for us, and we weren't sure if he was going to stick around after 2020, but yeah, he did, and I'm really glad he did, because he was pretty pumped up on Saturday night.
He's got a tat of an eagle from Southern Eagles.
Southern
when he won a
Eagles,
premiership there.
yes.
So I said now he's going
A
to get a
tiger.
tiger on the other pack.
Tiger.
Year at a Tiger. Pistols, who we got next? We've got, number 25.
Yeah, just tell us about Jack Maxwell. Missed
Yeah.
out through injury, was it? Or just
I think it was
Selected
just based on matchups, and
Yeah.
I think
at his return,
Premier-
early in the season, he missed a lot of footy, but then came back and to the finals was very valuable, Jack Maxwell.
and he's a Lobethal through and through,
Mhm.
like his old man. I think
Yeah,
one of the best thrown in the grand
that's right, he
finals.
did indeed.
So I mean, we grew up together, played footy together, and I think he had a bit of a head knock a few years ago, so he's sort of been struggling through that, and finally got back this year. He had some shin splint issues and struggled to get going early, but cracked some ripping form in the B grade.
It just gives you that bigger body around the forward flank area.
He's such a big mark, and he reminds me of like Tex Walker when he kicks. Like when he has a shot for goal, like he doesn't miss much. So Unreal skills, unreal marks. We used to drive down together to the Nord trainings actually as juniors, so yeah, it's pretty crazy driving, especially down Gorge Road. But
Worth waiting for. He's
Okay.
back. So,
No, the next person's Mitch Jenkins. Mitch, do you want to talk about Mitch Jenkins?
Oh,
No, all right.
I couldn't. Yeah.
You go to Tim. You go to
just
Tim.
about the tractor.
Oh,
And then someone can talk about Mitch. Yeah.
yeah. I guess Tim kicked me the ball for my first goal in A grade, and since then I guess I've played all of my games with him, and he reminds me about it every single game. But to play with him every week is amazing, and even just like I get to see my brother 5 times a week through football, and to see him kind of persevere through it and then come out with the premiership at the end has been pretty special. He's a fanatic, so yeah.
We mentioned before, Mitch, he only kicked the 1 goal for this year, but there's probably been a number of times when you've drifted forward, you're on the 50-metre arc, about to have the shot, next minute the usual runs past.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah, there's a few of them. I think he does it to me, but I'm not the only one he does it to. I think he did it to Hawks, he's done it to anyone, and it's a pretty funny thing. But yeah, it's Tim for you.
Who wants to talk about Mitch? Who? Rob?
Yeah, I can talk about old Mitchy. So yeah, Mitchy and I have been best mates for a long time. So when Mitch first came across from Nan, we got along pretty well as young fellas who probably used to muck around. Well, I used to muck around a little bit of training. So on the real wet nights, all we used to try and do was try and jump on puddles and just splash each other. So we spent whole nights doing that, I reckon. And then when Tim was coaching, we had to stop mucking around. But Mitch has always been a fantastic footballer. One of his standout games was against Torrens Valley in under 15s, I think it was. And Mitch kicked 11 goals straight in a half of football.
Wow.
So there you go, talking about 1 goal for the season. He kicked 11 in 1 half of football, and then got dragged because he was playing A grade day.
And Tim was coaching me, so he worked that out.
We're obviously playing at the wrong
Yeah.
ground.
There's got to be a shift.
Hey, there's got to be a shift. Now, what's the YouTube boy? What's he doing anything special on the post-match? So Matt Scroby, of course.
That's not YouTube, boy. Matt Scroby, I think he got COVID, didn't he? I haven't seen him since.
he didn't rock up.
He didn't rock up Silly Sunday because he legit thought he had COVID. So, and he's usually very good on a silly Sunday. So I like him.
Did he start at Harndorf?
Yeah, he is a hard boy. So,
Sort of like.
hopefully he doesn't do what Hoppy did after the 2020 Grand Final and go back there. But Scroby is a ripper. He's as genuine a bloke as you'll meet, and he just played his role. And he got injured late in the year. He thought he had a broken leg. We're like, oh, we're going to really miss him. He's been so important for us this year. But yeah, it turns out he got a bit of extra checking up, and it didn't feel too bad, and he managed to get himself back. So
He's doing
it's the quickest.
tracker style.
It's the quickest broken leg I've ever seen in my life. But
I've called that a few times.
yeah, it's he's had a fantastic year. Like even last year, he played. He like really started to find his own in A grade footy. But that half forward role it's a tough role to play, and he really nailed it this year, and it was super important for us. And yeah.
Back to you, Ollie. Peter Bampton.
Petey, ooh,
How many goals? 3.
3 goals.
Is that right? 3 or 2?
2.
2, sorry.
Stole one off Little Jack.
Yeah, that's right.
I might even handle this one, Alex. Alex
Oh,
played a lot of footy
yeah.
with Petey.
There is a lot of guys on this side I played a lot of footy with. Pete is a ripper, and being one of my really good mates, the whole time we're at Norwood, like I think he's only 26 or something.
Yes,
Like, he feels like he's 32. Like that's how long I've known him. I feel like he's been with us the entire time. Like supremely unlucky not to have ever played in Nord flag like he played a pivotal role in 2018 when we didn't quite get the job done and played probably played 100 really good league games, kicked a lot of goals, and probably just fell out of favour at the end of last year and saw that we were onto something pretty good up at Lobethal and thought he would get on board with that. And geez, he played a hell of a game on Saturday, didn't he? He was mighty important for us, and he's just such a really good guy. Again, another one that grew up around Lobey, and like even when we were downtown, we spent so much time around the club that it was our local club. We were not going anywhere else.
I guess we'll milk you for it because of the Nord connection. Matty Fuller.
Matt Fuller. So Matt Fuller also works for me. He's he finished his apprenticeship many years ago, but Have you ever met Lyle Fuller, his old man?
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
Lyle,
Lyle, he's so Matt's Lyle 2.0, very passionate football man. Pretends he isn't, but really absolutely loves it. And he's very handy footballer. When I was growing up, like we grew up in the same age group, and he was 15 times the player I was. Like he was so clean, so skillful, could kick it a mile both feet, and he obviously had a pretty handy career as well. Spent his time with the doggies, and he was the same. Like we both grew up at Lobe, we both came back, and he was actually probably very important over the last few years because he coached us and really brought in some systems that we've done downtown, and they do take a couple of years to get them working when guys haven't done it for a long time. And I think the success we had this year is probably ripe of what he developed in us over the last couple of years. And he played a fair game on the weekend. I thought he was probably our best.
Actually, on the Call to Wild, Goldie, if you remember, we did Blackwood and Lobe very first game, and I just had the sense that Matt Fuller was going to be in for a good season. Perhaps it's a hard thing being the coach. You want to worry about your own game than everyone else, and he just looked fitter and playing off the half-back flank. And just the run that he gave, and a couple of those goals that he kicked on Saturday, those long booming footers, and you could just tell he was going to be in for a big season.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he actually played that game. He had COVID, I reckon. That's
round one.
Yeah.
No, I think. But we saw him
I know
earlier.
it maybe it's the Raidler game.
Yeah.
He did have a fantastic season. I'd say he'll go pretty high in our BNF, but. Yeah, he spent a lot of time on the wing this year. So him and Jacob Collins played in a wing, and we really thought that would be a good point of difference for us against both sides. And to have those guys, they're almost key forwards as well. Like you give them something to kick to out wide, and they're usually on someone who's a bit smaller. And they both gave us excellent avenue to goal off those wings.
Cooper, we'll go to you. Change of
Number.
Change of number, change of hair, change from being an ordinary player to a premiership player. Benny Pring, tell us about it.
The hair, he's had a few different hairstyles the last couple of years, but me and Pring actually, we had a lot to do this year together. Sort of both played that tall forward, bring ball to ground, and sort of similar to myself, just had a role to play and just bring the ball to ground, competing, and. Like you wouldn't think, like you look at him and you don't think he's a tall bloke, but he's actually surprisingly tall and competes super well. And he last couple of years he's probably been trying to find that role for himself because he can play midfield, he can play back, he can play forward. So I think it was a couple of games he kicked like 3 or 4 goals and just sort of looked real good.
Give you that extra option.
Yeah, so we were a bit nervous a couple of weeks ago when he hurt himself, but for him to come back into the grain and play the way he did as well was just crazy.
And I think that's the main reason he did play was the versatility he brings. So
gives you that bit extra.
Yeah, if a key defender went down, he could play there. If Jim went down the ruck, he can chop out there. Like he's just a very versatile individual.
I'll change things up here. I'll go to this one. Mitch, were you closest on the scene to Jack's shot? Yeah, again, you're on the front of the paper as well.
Yeah.
Take us through, because it was a clearing kick out of fence, Hardorf, and then he takes the mark. Take us through that moment, what you saw, and then Jack Stafford.
For I guess probably out of all us backmen, he'd probably be the one that I'd want to take a kick from outside 50. And he lined up, and I reckon it's the only ball that I saw move right to left for the day. Everything else was going left to right, and I remember it snuck around, and I celebrated, and then got pretty conscious that I'd celebrated too quickly, so remembered looking at the goal umpire, waiting for it, and then celebrated again, and I reckon that was the photo, and
it was
unbelievable, and to hear staff yell was pretty rare, so you knew it was big, so that was good.
He loves kicking goal because he kicked one also in the preliminary final. So he's got a great boot on him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And he's from Lens. Is that
Lenswood, as you said, it was
kick like an apple.
Kicking apples, that's what he said. He's like, I just thought he was kicking an apple.
All right. Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy Braidwood, one of our favourites, come back this year and certainly, obviously losing Brady Dore, but he's filled the
Henry Voigt.
Jimmy Braidwood's definitely one of my favourites. So I think I said in pre-season, I was like, if we get a quarter out of this bloke, we're amazing. He just hardly trained. He was always seemed to have some sort of ailment. And after that first game at Blackwood, I was like, oh god, those are one of the best games of ruckman I've seen. One of the best games of football I've seen a ruckman play. he's probably our most important player, I reckon. Like, he is big, he competes, he has the confidence to catch him, and he just had a stellar season, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely superb, as I said. You're the coach.
Oh, well, yeah. All of you? Yeah.
The
Aidan
coach.
Riley?
The coach.
Yeah, so good. I mean, I guess probably had a little bit of insight kind of with Tad helping him now. I guess we've heard things of all of them, which is good, but to see like the way that he's led us and this, I guess, professionalism while still kind of connecting with everyone who's working 9 to 5s and like whether we all gel on Saturdays, that's for sure. But I guess for me personally, yeah, giving me kind of the license to run off a bit more has been something I've really enjoyed, and I'm sure he's done the same to lots of other players and really kind of defining a role for each other so everyone kind of knows what they're doing.
Just the toughness that he brings, Alex. Obviously, he had experience against when he was playing for Sturt on the other side of the coin, but it's just amazing. Like,
How about him and Big D Rob going at it like that?
Yeah.
Collision.
Yeah.
You need to take a bit of 4v2 in your back pocket out.
That wouldn't stop the Pig. I actually have played with Pig as well, like at Casey and
Yes.
Melbourne together. And
Oh, yeah.
Yes, of course.
you'd play at Casey and he would just get the ball every single time. Like, he was a wrecking ball, and then play AFL and wouldn't touch it. So it was a tough balance. He'd play half forward, and but yeah, at SNFL level, like there was no point tagging him. Like you couldn't stop him. He's just a raging bull. So you'd spend your time working on Battersby or Kirkwood or something like that, because no matter what you do, Aidan's going to have 20 hardball gets and have his hands on the footy first, 40 times or something like that. I was actually getting a bit frustrated with him in the last quarter because he kept diving on it. It's like, you realise we have to score here. Just knock the ball on or something. But he's been massive for our group. Like, I'm so pumped that he came up to play at Lobethal, and he's just, it's like Lobethal is his junior club now, isn't it? Like, you wouldn't tell that he's not one of the guys who was coming back.
I know, it's his old man Pete, he loves it too. Loves the call to all from the gong, so might be able to sell a lot of Lobethal memberships.
Nice,
Hey, what's he like as a coach? Because obviously tough, hard man. What's he like? He's pretty controlled when he addresses you and stuff.
Yeah, very controlled. He always says give first gives and then proceeds to give 50 don't argues before he hands, which I always find pretty funny. But no, I think his message is always it's not nothing overly complex, is it? It's just about
Very calm.
Yeah, very calm and always pretty consistent and always shows the opposition a lot of respect. We do a lot of what they're good at, what we do well to compete that, and I think he really just brought in a touch of professionalism into us as well, like on the way that we move the ball and using our skills that we did have. So I think he's just sort of complemented what Fuller has started and got us playing some pretty decent footy.
Hey, change to last quarter.
Which one?
Siren goes. So did he get you in? What was the message?
Yeah.
Then, like, first, we've just played 4 quarters. They actually count for nothing now. It's 10 minutes for the rest of the season.
They had the final countdown playing on the speaker.
Classic. Just what was said there, because you couldn't actually talk in the swap over. So that was going to be the address then.
Yeah, I didn't actually know we weren't allowed to talk in the swap over, but all of a sudden it's like, get two positions. Like, right. I think the message was obviously the wind wasn't doing it for you. Like, it was still bloody hard to kick with the wind.
Yeah.
So he just said it's all about just compete, like first the footy. If you get your hands on it, just hold it in, eat this 5 minutes up without Harndorf having too much of a score. And they had 2 pretty decent shots at goal.
Hit post,
hit the post.
Touched on the line.
Yeah, it's
Free
kick on the line, and Roberts got that one out of the ruck that only just missed. But I think all day I feel like we were first to the footy at least 75-80% of the time, and I think that's what really chewed up those 5 minutes pretty quick. And then I think nothing changed for the last 5 minutes of what we had been doing in the last quarter. So we made sure we tried to number out forward and clear out stoppage a little bit, and we got the rewards pretty much straight away in that last bit.
Feeling Saturday night, obviously about keeping the group together. We discussed it briefly after the game when you joined us on the call a while, but as the night went on back at the Valley of Praise, seems like most of the guys will be sticking around. Aid will continue? Or?
Well, we didn't really discuss it in depth. I'd like to think there's no reason that there should be too much turnover in the group. I guess things do come up, family and life,
Of course.
and all that sort of stuff. Lauren is pretty pumped when I said I'm playing
Just
next
looking
year.
at the you were saying, have you given her the good news?
Yeah, I think I've mentioned it enough.
You've been apprehensive with it. About 5:30 on Saturday, but obviously. So, hey, sorry, just looking at your list, when you look at Aid himself, he's only 30, because the oldest one is Timmy, and of course you. So
Yeah,
we know you're going again. So.
Yeah, Jack Bampton is our age group, and so is Matt Fuller.
That's right.
Yeah, I can't see any of us four not playing. Like, we're all best mates. As long as one of us plays, I'd say we'd all play. I know Griggy has got family and stuff. You'd like to hope that he plays, but I know it's been just such a bonus having this year. Like, you actually see that he signs, you'll never be 100% sure. Like, it's But geez, I think he really enjoyed it. So you never know what happened with the raggies at home and his old man and all that sort of stuff. But on the rest of the group, like pretty much all locals, aren't we? And there's no
And you got good depth with the Rezzies.
There's another young Stafford coming through the juniors too.
Yeah.
So
another young Skinner as well.
There's
another young Skinner's another one.
Wow, how old's he?
He's 16.
17.
That's terrific.
Still got time for the three boys to be together.
Yeah, just need to get Snake back in.
that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Just how hard was it? I think you sort of touched on it previously when we spoke did. Coming out of league footy and coming back, and as you said, you were even in a pre-season trial game, he was telling you where to run. Just the drop back, things that you take just happen for granted in the elite company, was a bit frustrating. Also the tempo of the footy, the drop back, but it takes a while to get used to it. And like training.
Yeah, that's probably training is hard. Like obviously in the hills it gets pretty cold.
Yeah, place like the tractor running hide in the dark. You can't do it because you get the new lift. Hide the dark pocket.
I think a lot of the guys say it's like, geez, you Norwood boys yell at each other a lot. And I think that's that is a difference at league level. Like there's a lot of demand on one another, particularly us in Norwood. I'm not sure if it's the same with all the other clubs, but we are very demanding players out in the field, and you've got to have pretty thick skin to make sure you're doing all the right things. Like training is hard. Like probably my body's a bit older and you can't quite move as well as you are, but it is hard to get a couple of really good sessions in. There's numbers, there's conditions, lighting, all that sort of stuff. The footies are a little bit harder and rounder. But look, there's nothing easy about Hills football. Like it is a very good competition. Like I'd like Harnett would have to be for the last couple of years. As good at amateur clubbers that are like they've beat the Div 1 sides easily. There's nothing easy about it, that's for sure. So I really enjoy the standard. I like playing in good footy sides, and the Hills is good footy.
Absolutely.
And down the track yourself, as you said, perhaps play as long as you can, but with the experience you've had at elite levels, getting involved in a coaching situation one day, Alex, maybe? Or?
Very unlikely. I'm more of a
Demand.
I certainly don't have, as I said, I'm not an overly passionate football person. It's like I absolutely love it. It's just more about playing with my mates. So, I always have, nor do like, you want to come down and do a line? I'm like, I could not think of anything worse. So, footy's it's more about a social thing that I can do with my mates and really enjoy. So
just on that point, Alex, given that being when you went into the professional sort of environment with the Melbourne Football Club, where it's the professionalism with that, how did you find that? Because that obviously be a bit out of your
I certainly was. As I said, I was late coming to footy. I only played because my mates played. I only played at Norwood because my mates played at Norwood. Then you go to Melbourne and it was like these guys' life, and I know I found it very different lifestyle. I went from working 70-hour weeks to kicking a footy around for like 25 hours a week and then playing PlayStation with the rest. It was a tough slow down, and I loved every second of it. But certainly I was glad that I had other things going on in my life, because it was footy's. I knew that I wasn't talented enough to make footy my life, so
Hey, just on that, you haven't had any phone calls from the Geelong coaching staff to find out how to shut down Buddy Franklin?
Most certainly not. I think he got injured in the first quarter against us. That was the bonus. But he was a hell of a player to play against. That's for sure. A memory I won't forget.
All right, now Saturday night, as you said, good celebrations still going, and as you said,
we haven't lost the flag, so that's good.
That's good. They haven't lost the cup. Friday night is your
Presentation,
presentation night. Yeah, you're defending
Yeah.
Tony Lloyd medal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank
winning
you.
that. It was a great footballer, of course went on the Sturt Premiership club. Who wins it, do you think? Besides you
I think
four,
we
of course.
No, we'd all say the same person.
I reckon there's probably one person that's favourite, but I'm going to go Jimmy Braidwood as a bit of a strikey.
Favourite, of course, we were talking about Mitch Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that done? Obviously, envelopes given to various people, or
I have no idea.
I don't
Don't pick
quite
up
know
that.
myself.
I
At
think
least
I think there's 5 people that write down 5 to 1.
well, Trevor would have one, so you got.
Yeah.
he-
so
he'll-
I'll Timmy Mitchell.
he
probably, right?
refuses. He won't take one. So
But Jimmy Braidwood, as you mentioned before, Alex, he's had a very consistent season. And,
Yeah, he's been.
I mean, he's kind of a real. Well, they're all everyone's play as you say. Can't really pick anyone, but he's been
Yeah.
key.
Oh,
Like you take Dore and Void
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
and you just
yeah.
put young Jimmy in there, and it's like he.
Yeah, and I think pre-season we're like, oh, yeah, we'll be fine, Coop. We'll be able to battle away in the ruck and sort of half most contests. But the couple of games where we didn't have him, I think he missed against Mount Lofty and Nairn, maybe. Like 2 of the games that we did drop during the year, and yeah, you just really don't appreciate how important having a really strong big man is up in this sort of
hey,
league.
just on that point, Cooper, you do a very good job.
Absolutely.
Where do you prefer playing? Centre half forward spot or
Yeah, a mix of both's good because sometimes up forward you can just run around like a headless chook all day and not get near the thing. So yeah, fullback.
something like that.
I'm enjoying getting out of fullback and spent my days there. Yeah, pinch hitting in the ruck's great, especially if you can get against the second ruck and get around the footy, get a few clearances and then yeah, that'd be my preferred spot, I reckon.
Hey, Saturday night, obviously there was a few of the Dickie Clearman straight after the game, but there were a few of the other from 20 years ago getting around. The welcome to the Premiership Club, so to speak.
Yeah,
Players.
Damo King and Big
Yep.
Gutter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all the boys there.
Who's
Cole
Ledger?
Hackett.
There's a ledge there.
Oh, sorry.
I
Yeah,
was going to say Jason.
Jason.
I was going to say Jason was a ledge.
Yeah, obviously
Hey.
Dickie and
Oh, keep going.
who else?
It's not Randall.
Raduli.
Oh,
I had a message from Kieran Ryan.
Yeah.
Every time we do something
Big time.
successful, he comes out of the woodwork.
Big Russ. Big
Yeah.
Russ showed his
Yeah.
face for a while.
Ah,
He's-
fantastic.
Jezza was tuned in. He was liking
Yeah.
it.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Panicked when we dropped out there for a while.
I've had plenty of feedback about that. Everyone who's tuning in, they're like, oh, last.
I was on the Facebook. I'm still live on the YouTube, but that's all right.
It's all part of the atmosphere, the
Yeah.
thriller.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
I noticed on the social media the young bloke involved this year.
Cussy.
Is that
Yeah.
it
So,
was-
yeah, so
yes.
Tim's been mentoring him. He's a local in Lobethal, and I guess Tim brought him in just doing some stuff with his personal training, and then saw the opportunity. I knew he used to play football, but gave it up. Socially, he wasn't enjoying it. And then yeah, Tim brought him into. I guess we did a few trainings with us, ran some water. Enjoyed it, and then from there, I reckon he was in the song, in the middle of the song every time he won, and I guess when you're winning, you
Like
don't
the
really
Sydney
I
want
was
bloke.
going to say, has he become the Lobethal sheepdog?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, he's
Sheepdog.
important.
Yeah, I think what Tim's done with him is fantastic. I know I've had a lot of feedback from
Yeah,
his,
it's
from
great.
his parents, and yeah, it's really. I had Gussie come along and leaps and bounds, and
Yeah.
he's just part of our team. So,
Fantastic.
Just that personal development.
Yeah.
yeah,
Development.
footy clubs are a great place for
Yeah.
social and getting out of your comfort zone.
And particularly when you win a flag, mate.
Yeah.
It makes it all worthwhile.
Probably
doesn't
thinks
it?
it's pretty easy at the
Yeah.
moment. He's really
He's one for
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's-
one for
Yeah,
one.
certainly a great achievement. It was a great game, and look, unfortunately, as I said, you can't do anything about the conditions, but we were blessed with the fact that, and full credit to them.
Yeah, they
They did very well.
Like they said, we want to run this, and they'll do it very well.
They did.
One thing you can't organise is the
The
weather,
weather,
but it did fine up. Luckily, like the poor old junior Colts, it was just absolutely belting down
Yeah.
there, and you thought, oh, this is going to be.
Yeah.
But you talked to a lot of people who ran a lot of other regional grand finals at Angaston. It was blowy, even down at Gould. You can imagine off
Yeah.
the sea. So yeah, well done to Nan, and yeah, a great grand final and an epic.
Yeah.
Because every time Harndorf and Lobie meet, it's an epic game.
Mm.
You can just
Yeah.
respect you have for each other. And it's great the photo of Sammy Williams of
And Aiden,
got
yeah.
straight after. And, you know, how disappointing for him not being even able to play, and then
Yeah.
see when the epic games go down the wire. But only be one winner, and you boys, well done. Enjoy the summer. What's on for summer?
So I'm building a house at the
Yep.
moment, so Lauren was saying, can we actually start doing some stuff instead of playing
You
footy
haven't got
weekend?
some of those other cooks that you mentioned earlier that work for you working on it.
No, good luck getting them working Saturday. So can't be getting there during the week.
You, Riley, you're the serve volley expert, are you?
I gave a test a couple of years ago, but who knows? Might even get called in for a couple B grade, C grade cricket games as they
For the
usually do.
mighty, Woodside or?
Mighty Tigers.
Oh.
Tigers?
Yeah.
Are you a cricketer?
Yeah, oh,
When's your first
fielder.
one?
I'm a fielder. No, I'll be finishing my degree this summer.
What are you doing?
Civil engineering, same as Alex did, so
Wow.
finally get that done.
I mentor him.
Talented and smart.
Yeah.
I haven't passed yet, so.
No, the best. And what about you, Coop?
I'll try and.
Were
I'll
you
try and
trekking
catch
off somewhere, the
Yeah.
Andes or somewhere?
Actually, trying to go to Vietnam. So.
Lovely spot there. I've been there a couple of
Yeah.
I'll
times.
have to,
You'll love
I'll
it.
have to flick you a message then.
Yeah,
Nice spots.
They're the good spots to go to.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, speaking of spots, you guys are in a good spot. Why not memorable premiership victory? So we thank you for giving us a bit of time. And, actually, you've scrubbed up pretty well.
Yeah,
Might be a few blokes looking a little bit.
Yeah.
Max Govey's missing in action, and
Yeah.
the sheriff, he's probably just used that as excuses.
Yeah.
Under the bed. Hey, did you say like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday when you front up
Yeah.
again? Was a few blurry-eyed blokes who looked like they probably didn't really want to be there, but by about noon they're loving it.
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was on Sunday for.
It was a merging of the cricket and the footy team, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cricketers. I
They
think.
just
They just
jumping on again.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's about the cricket, they know how to do it.
Cricketers certainly know how to do it. So I reckon when I left the pub on Monday, it was probably more cricketers than footballers.
Yeah, fantastic.
sensational. Thanks
All
very
right,
much.
boys, thanks very much
Thank
for
you.
coming in. We wish you all the best for your presentation. No doubt the game will be relived. It's like a premiership reunion on Friday.
1 week.
Thanks for coming in, boys. That just about does this.
Yes, that's it. Yep. Thanks to
Like
Rob.
the
who's-
grand final, we've actually gone an extra time. So it's time to wind up. So thanks for joining us on the Huddle Reform, and we'll be back next week for the penultimate show of the season. So thanks to our guests, who we had Chris Trapp, Chris Kendall, and of course Mickey Taylor, and of course the boys from Lobethal. So until we chat again, keep chasing the goals. Catch you next time.
All right, just got to turn that off, so it's still on there. So, thanks, lads.
Thank you.
Trappy. It's information, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah. He's still involved.
Thanks very much, everyone.